my GPS is packed up on my motorcycle, so I'm not quite sure where I am, but I'm somewhere in the Midrand region, Samrand or something like that, and I've discovered a motorcycle and car off-road track. In fact, I've been invited to a Nashua Mobile function, and Terence Marsh is joining us here. Terence, Nashua Mobile, obviously good to see them involved in off-road this year, but more importantly, these corporate function days, this is something brand new in the scene, isn't it?
Yeah, Dave, something completely new. The whole objective is really to give back to the sponsors. It's very nice, obviously, through the help of guys like Nashua Mobile, Cargo Motors, and the other sub-sponsors we have. It just makes it a little bit easier for us this season to participate in a sport like this. And really what we try and give them back is just to give them an idea of what we enjoy, what we participate in, a good opportunity for bringing out their corporate clients and really do something which they really wouldn't have an opportunity to do elsewhere.
Greg Duss, the idea, I guess, is to put your clients into the car and show them what it's like to go off-road racing.
Correct, Dave. What we like to do is just do a little bit of an initiation trip. It's quite a paradigm shift to get into one of these vehicles. As you know, it's quite a scary experience. So what we like to do is take them around, show them what the car is capable of doing, and then raise the intensity as the day goes on to about 80–90% of race pace, and let them experience what we live for, should I say. Fantastic.
Well, petrol heads aside, but also, Terence, you've got the bikes as well as the cars this year, so you're covering all aspects of the off-road.
Yeah, we try to really put together a complete off-road team as such. So we've got Mike Whitehouse, who's competing in the Nationals on the bikes under the Nashua Mobile racing banner. Myself and Greg participate in the off-road Nationals in the two vehicles. And then we do a lot of corporate functions. We take guys down to the Valley of 1,000 Hills, down in Botswana, as a group, all on the bikes. Kind of do a lot of technical kind of riding, scenic kind of riding, all that really good stuff. And really just try and enjoy ourselves. We love the bush, we love the dirt, and that's what it's all about.
Guys, thanks very much for that information. Thanks for inviting us here today, and I might even get to drive in one of those cars. We'll see what happens a bit later on. But stay with us, and let's see what it's like on a corporate day in the off-road scene. Terence and Greg compete nationally in their space frame vehicles and are both contenders in their respective class championships. Did well this last weekend at the Sugar Belt 400. These off-road racing cars are state-of-the-art and would not look out of place next to a lunar module. The corporate clients are in for the ride of their lives and listen closely to instructions.
Right, as you'll see here, these are the day glows. This really much gives us an indication we're on the route. The navigator at all times it's like a verification for him. We'll never be able to, on a route schedule, be able to determine a road straight or not. So the objective is always to keep a day glow on your left-hand side. As soon as that's on your right-hand side, you're going against the flow. So what we're doing here, a double day glow, you can see a double stick here, would mean that we have a turning coming to the left, all right? From his route schedule, he would be counting me down from his odometer. The objective to get past the bloke then is we actually do what we call we nerve the guy. So we come up hard with the bull bar and we hit him behind, a little nerve. You kind of feel it in the car because it feels as if the turbos are coming, but when you don't have a turbo.
A tour of the course in normal 4x4 Mitsubishi Colts, just to show today's clients the way around the course.
We go through a nice little, another little rough section here. This will be considered smooth in off-road racing. This is really more rallying kind of stuff to a certain extent. Big right-hand sweep here.
Greg and Terence also explain the technicalities of this form of racing, which has taken off enormously this year with heavy involvement by the major car manufacturers. The clients get dressed in overalls and big boots because it's going to be dirty and dusty out on the track. Nashua Mobile are also running an off-road bike team, and rider Mike Whitehouse is going to lead the way out so that our in-car camera can give you some idea of what off-road racing is really like. Rough stuff to say the least, and dust already from Mike's 250cc KTM. Take a listen to that big old V8 Rover engine. Loads of power there. We take it easy on the first lap. We don't want to scare these guys too much. Whoa! And 200 meters on, and already Mike has taken a spill. This is going to be one interesting day. Slowly through the water traps, and actually the concept of putting the public into these race cars is quite a clever idea. Off-road racing is spectacular in anybody's language, but the races are long and competitors disappear into the bush for long periods. So it is difficult for spectators to appreciate what it is all about. Now, put someone into the navigator's seat for 20 minutes and let them feel the adrenaline rush of it all, and they are hooked for a lifetime. So obviously this is a way of attracting attention from prospective sponsors and creating more interest in the sport. Maybe Terence's next stop is to invite personnel from the non-motoring media and see what they think of off-road racing firsthand, like we are today. And then perhaps the final step would be to make these sort of events into corporate team building exercises. How would you like your work colleagues to enjoy this thrill for a day? Well, it does take guts, but make contact with Terence. Maybe he'll take you out in his car. And they go like the blazes. An additional attraction for today's clients is the chance to ride in the helicopter whilst their colleagues scare themselves on the ground. Is Mike Whitehouse scared with that car behind him? Well, he's got the power on the ground, but Terence Marsh is hanging right on to him like the plague. Actually, the off-road cars and motorcycles used to share race venues and events, but nowadays they race at separate events, better for safety reasons.
Sharon Byron-Davies is the team manager of this Nasho Mobile team. Sharon, it looks like you've got quite a big setup with the cars and the bikes this year.
Yes, we have got a good setup. What we actually decided to do was add value to sponsors. Obviously, it's got to be a business benefit in everything that you do. So what we said is, obviously through motorsport, you've got to promote the motorcycles, the motor vehicles, and add a bit of value to the consumer and the customers itself. So we've got mobile billboards, we've got the setup, and we've got the corporate days. And we also involve the sponsors in the actual race days and invite them and take them out for a real experience.
And Sharon, apart from being team manager, you're also riding bikes this year. Tell us about how that's been going and how's it on two wheels?
I absolutely love motorsport. My father always used to be involved in motor vehicles. My brother's raced. Michael Whitehouse is the rider, is my brother. And I just decided I used to race with the guys, got tired of the Sunday afternoon rides, and I said, hang on, I want to be a part of Nasho Mobile. So I've started just at the club championships this year as the first year. I'm loving it. My first couple race, you want to call it that. I finished 10th, I was the only woman. And the second race went well, and yes, my next race hopefully will be this weekend if Nasho hasn't got something on, and I hope to do well.
Keep you busy, eh?
Very busy.
But how do the guys treat you out there on the track? Are they quite helpful, do you think?
Well, put it this way, when I got my helmet on, they can't really see. When I go to scrutineering and take my helmet off, there's a look that you get, and they've been really, really great. In fact, they asked me, are you coming to the next race? So I really enjoy it.
Well, that's it then. Maybe you should get down to the next local regional off-road race. Catch up with Sharon. A bit of glamour in our two-wheel sport. I think we need that, eh?
We certainly do. And Greg Dowse is out there with his VW engine off-road car, 2-litre VW, highly tuned for high specification. But he uses torque more than top-end power to get more traction in the S2 class with his Nasho Mobile racing car. 160, 170 k's per hour they do down these straights, and look how bumpy it is. Mike Whitehouse has got company though, because that Rover V8 is still right on his tail, sucking dust. Oh, swapping ends as they come down towards us, and a big right-hand turn and a shout from Mike, obviously enjoying life. Some of the clients are up in the helicopter getting a bird's eye view of the action down on the track, and Mike says, "Ooh, boy, you better take over because I've had enough of trying to outrun that car." Greg Dowse comes down with that 2-litre VW motored off-road car. Big suspension on this car, apparently 20 grand per wheel. That is what the suspension costs. Intercom between driver and passenger so they can talk to each other all day long. And dust is the name of the game in off-road racing. The perfect venue for these guys to run these sort of corporate days, because it's about 300 hectares of ground with natural terrain and trails for them to take advantage of. Deep sand, not too much wheel spin, and through the water and back towards the pit area for Greg and his lucky passenger. Lucky because he stayed in one piece. Those ditches are almost a meter deep. He has got his foot pinned to the accelerator through there. 160 k's per hour, and he pitches it sideways. Wouldn't you just love to be in this car? Corporate clients are loving it. They do tell me that they get scared for the first few Ks, but once they get used to the speed and the bumps and the jumps, well, there's nothing to it. Maybe it's time to have a chat to some of those clients and see what they think about all of this.
Well, Richard Fourie, you've just been out there in one of those off-road racing cars. Tell us about the experience.
Well, it's my first experience off-road, so it's just been phenomenal. I mean, you can't really relate unless you've been there, and I think that's the experience I got. Because you watch it on TV and you hear the commentator saying the guy's going like 150 down this dirt road, this is the terrain, and you're going, yeah, okay, whatever, yeah, there it goes. But now you feel it, and it's just amazing. It's incredible.
Obviously, you put a lot of trust into the driver. Did you at any time feel unsafe?
I must be honest, no. I think that the car's handling and I mean the driver's ability just speaks for themselves. It's like getting onto an aeroplane. You can't do anything while you're there, so just relax. Obviously,
these corporate days are a bit of a win then.
Yeah, fantastic. Beats the crap out of being in the office, excuse me.
Mike Whitehouse with that off-road racing car chasing around the bush. Pretty scary with that big old V8 behind you, eh?
Yeah, you tend to focus on the car rather than when you go and I had a little bit of a wipeout, but it's awesome. It's totally awesome. I thought I'd run away from them, but I just couldn't make it. I'm saying, where's those rocks? Where's those rocks? Give them to me. I'll have to go into 380 or 520, you know. But it's awesome, yeah. It was excellent.
Tell us about your off-road riding, because I know a few years ago you actually broke your leg quite badly, and it's been sort of the comeback trail for you.
It has been. I think it, you know, it leveled my thinking somewhat in that I was a bit wild. I used to love the dust, and now that I'm a family man, possibly it was a good thing. So I try to be a little bit more consistent and less wild, and hopefully for the long ones, fitness will make up for it. But it's good actually to have a crash and start again.
Yeah. Off-road scene has picked up a great deal, eh?
Immensely. You know, there's more corporates getting involved in it, business people. You know, I'm an accountant, and I kind of got a stressful job, and what I tend to find that out there on the bike, you totally relax. Blood pressure's down now. I'm pleased. It's great.
It sure is. Now, Terence Marsh is taking his life in his hands because he's letting D. Peterson Esquire get behind the wheel of that Rover V8 engined off-road racing car. Welcome aboard, and you're driving with Dave Peterson, motorcycle race and bike tester. Does he know how to drive a car? I don't know so much. Big horsepower and big suspension. This should be a lot of fun. Sideways through the corners, foot flat to the floor. Use all that horsepower. Terence shouts by way of intercom for me to slow down through the water and mud sections, which I find unusual. Apparently our helmets and visors get splashed if we go quickly through the wet stuff. Vision then becomes nil, and we would have to clean our visors on the move, and of course slow right down. Maybe they should fit mud guards to these off-road racing cars. The sound of the free revving V8 inside the cab is awesome, and throttle response precise. The semi-automatic 3-speed gearbox takes some getting used to, but works a treat and is less physical than a manual gear change. Talking about physical, your body is strapped tight into the bucket seats, but you still feel like a rag doll being thrown about in a storm. And hats off to these guys who do this for days on end. They have nerves of steel and backsides like rhino skin. Through the long grass at almost 180 is pretty damn scary, but this car inspires confidence, so we bury the pedal to the metal. And thanks to Greg and the boys from Nasher Mobile for a great day out. I look forward to the next one. Back after the break.